Conservative new media viewers, JLin fans around the world, Charlotte Hornets fans around the world, what's up? It's me, PFV, Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. We're here to discuss Charlotte's 106-97 victory tonight against the East-leading Cleveland Cavaliers in Charlotte, North Carolina. With the victory, Hornets improved to 24-25 on the season. Cavaliers fall to 35-13. This was an amazing game, and we're going to break down all of it. First, let's do the woo. That's a loud noise. If you're not familiar with these videos, it's done whenever the team that JLin plays for wins. So I'm going to give a countdown from 3. And if you don't want to hear loud noise, then you can just skip this 20 seconds of the video or so. 3, 2, 1. Woo! Woo! That was incredible. And right now, while I'm talking here, JLin is like the 5th trending topic on Twitter, at least for me. I don't know about worldwide and everything else, but he's definitely trending for me, and deservedly so, because he was incredible in this game. He was fantastic in this game. Let's go over all the statistics first. We'll go over everything bit by bit here. It's going to be a fun time tonight. Kyrie Irving led the Cleveland with 26 points, 5 assists. LeBron James, 23 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Kevin Love, 12 points, 12 rebounds. J.R. Smith, 14 points, 4 steals. That's very impressive by JR. Turning to Charlotte, Marvin Williams, 16 points. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, 11 points, 13 rebounds, and just amazing energy. He has so much energy. It's just great to have him back. Nick Batum, 10 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists. Nick was doubtful for this game yesterday, and then he got upgraded to questionable, and thank goodness he played because he was important in this game. Frank Kaminsky, 15 points, 6 rebounds off the bench, did a terrific job in this game. He really worked over Kevin Love in the low post. Jeremy Lamb, 7 points, 4 rebounds. And JLin, 24 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. He played 32 minutes. Shot 7 of 13 from the field, including 2 of 4 from three-point range, 8 of 11 from the free throw line, no steals, no block shots, 5 turnovers, 0 personal fouls, and his plus-minus was a +3. Why did Charlotte win this game? One core reason why they won this game is they crushed the Cavaliers in the rebounding department, 49-28, including 11-3 disparity in offensive rebounds. Now, Cleveland didn't turn the ball over a lot, which is impressive because they like to kind of go up-tempo when they can, but Charlotte they had the superior energy, and they really turned it up in the second half. Cleveland was up by 9 points in this game going into the third quarter, and then Charlotte turned on the Jets. They outscored the Cavaliers by 16 points in that third quarter. It was so bad that even the police are responding to the crime that was perpetrated against the Cavaliers. You can hear their sirens in the background because that's pretty much what it was. And we're not talking about a misdemeanor here. I'm talking about a felony crime because Charlotte dusted them in the third quarter. And fourth quarter, Cleveland couldn't make the comeback. Charlotte just kind of coasted in. The lead never got below, maybe 7 points or something like that. Yeah, I think that's about right. So this is the best win of the season for the team. It's even better than the win that they had against Toronto. I believe that I think was in overtime. Cleveland came into this game having won 10 of their last 11 games on the road, and having gone 5-1, I believe, with new head coach Tyronn Lue. They're playing better. They're playing more cohesively. I watched most of their games So I'm very well versed on Cleveland. They're a much better team now than they were earlier in the year. They're fully healthy, except for they were missing Matthew Dellavedova tonight. That didn't help them. He might have been able to slow down JLin a little bit more. But that was the only thing. They came in feeling good. They were confident, everything. And they got dusted in the second half of this game and just manhandled. I mean, that was what was most impressive about this, was just the pounding that Charlotte put on them in terms of energy and hustle and just will. I'm incredibly impressed with this team. I said it on Twitter while the game was just getting started. And people give me a hard time about this sometimes. Look, this Charlotte team is good when they're at full health, and they're not even at full health. They were missing Kemba and Al Jefferson tonight. If and when this Charlotte team gets to full health, you're talking about a very serious team. Now, I'm not saying they're as good as the Cavs in a series or anything like that, but they're very good. They're capable of being extremely good because you have big-time depth. Hey, look, Brian Roberts is the third point guard, and he's been playing great lately. Troy Daniels is the third shooting guard. He's been playing great. I mean, this is a deep team with long, tall athletes like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Nick Batum, Jeremy Lamb. I mean, these guys can play. Kemba Walker's having the best season of his career. Al Jefferson's a terrific player. This is not a joke team. And I think a lot of people have gotten caught up in kind of the difficulties that Charlotte's had in recent weeks. They're a good team. They just haven't been healthy. And they're still figuring each other out. But they really put on a display tonight. And they kind of served notice that they're not going away. They've survived almost everything now. And my guess is that when the All-Star break is over, which is 2 weeks from now, they're probably going to be at full strength in terms of health. And look out. Look out. Again, I'm not saying they're going to dominate the league, but they're going to make a serious push for a playoff spot. And they can cause some problems. This is really, I'm just happy for them. Really happy. I did not expect them to win this game. I know how well Cleveland's been playing and how focused Cleveland is, and they just hammered them. I mean, that's the best way to put it. It was just, it was magnificent. I mean, if you have League Pass or whatever it is, you got to watch this game, because if you're a Lin fan, if you're a Hornets fan, this game was fun. Michael Jordan was in the house. Eric Sleepy Floyd was in the house. If you're an old school basketball fan like myself, you know who that is. Played in the 80s. Terrific player, actually. It just was, there was a ton of energy. The crowd was into it. I mean, some guy got kicked out. A fan got kicked out late in the game because he touched LeBron. I mean, it just, this thing had everything. It was fun. It was exciting. You had some great no-look passes from Jeremy Lin to guys for dunks. I mean, this is NBA at its best. So I couldn't be happier for the team. Like I said, this is definitely the best victory that they have had all season, and I think this can really rally the team. They have another 3 games coming up on the homestand, but they're against pretty good teams. So they're going to need to dig in, and having this victory should give them a tremendous amount of energy to carry on in those upcoming 3 games. So just a fantastic night. Now let's do quarter by quarter, take you through what happened for Jeremy and the team here bit by bit. Let me just say this about how Jeremy did tonight overall before I get into quarter by quarter. He had 5 turnovers. Okay. 2 of them came late. The turnovers were mostly irrelevant. I think they came a lot from aggression.
These weren't like nervous or backpedaling turnovers. They were more attacking turnovers. You don't want them, but you're going to get them. And Jeremy had 8 assists in this game, and he easily could have had 13, 15 assists. So when you're distributing the ball that much, you're going to have some turnovers. I mean, that's just the way it is. But what I liked with Jeremy was, this is one of the best games I've seen in his entire career where he controlled the pace. And he was able to mix up speeds. He didn't just play fast in this game. He actually was playing slow sometimes. He wasn't over dribbling. Like, he was working within the system, but he was still controlling the action with his passing and finding guys. But he did it in an extremely efficient way, both for himself and his own energy level, and in a way that works best for the team. So you could see it early on. And he said it after the game in his post-game interview. Stephanie Reddy, who's one of the analysts for the Hornets, said, what were you thinking? What was your mindset coming in, since you're taking the place of Kemba tonight? Because that's who he started for. And he's like, well, I wanted to, what do you say? He's like, I wanted to be aggressive, but also move the ball or something like that. And that's exactly the way that he played. I've said it previously, and I'll say it again now. Jeremy is still working to become the best player that he can be, like, without over dribbling and without going into just, it's all Jeremy. And I thought the way that he played tonight was, like, flawless. It was the perfect combination of passing and shooting and doing it with using different slow, medium, fast speeds so he doesn't get worn out, and without having to dribble too much. It was masterful. It's just incredible the way that he controlled this game. It really was. It was just amazing to watch it. So I would say that this is one of the most complete games of his career. I'm not going to say it's the best. I'm sure there's games where he's had more statistical output, certainly when he was in New York. But this is one of the most sound and complete games I've ever seen him play. And I've said it previously this season, he's clearly improving. He's clearly improving. And most of this year he's played shooting guard. Much of the time he's playing shooting guard. Well, he can still play point guard. But he's learning new skills. He's playing more shooting guard. He's playing without the ball. So he's just getting more and more skills, and it's amazing. And tonight he showed what he could do. And I'm just thrilled for him and for the entire team. Okay, let's start right from the get-go here, early in the first quarter. So the lineup going into the beginning of the game, JLin, Nick Batum, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, Marvin Williams, Cody Zeller. Now, this lineup is pretty small and pretty athletic. I mean, you have Jeremy, Nick, Michael, and Marvin are all relatively small players and athletic, and Cody's athletic. So this is kind of it's almost perfect for Jeremy because he likes running pick and rolls with Cody Zeller. And so it worked out. This is a good lineup for the team, and it's definitely a good lineup for Jeremy. Okay? So right from the get-go, in the first 4 minutes of the game, Jeremy already had 2 assists. One to a Marvin Williams layup, the other one to a Marvin Williams made three-pointer. Then he had his first turnover of the game, which was he wanted to throw an alley-oop to Cody Zeller. He was kind of in between a shot and a pass. He was driving towards a basket, and he basically short-armed the pass. And I want to say maybe it was Tristan Thompson for Cleveland kind of intercepted it. It was a really nice play. Basically, he threw it a little short of what it had to be. But again, this is an attacking turnover, so no problem with it whatsoever. Then he had an assist for a foul. He passed the ball to Marvin Williams, who shot a three-pointer, but he was fouled on the shot and got 3 free throws. Of course, Jeremy does not get an assist on that shot, but he set it up perfectly. Then, middle of the first, he had his first score of the game. He basically took a jump shot from about the free throw line, right, extended, like out a little bit off the dribble. That made the score 15-12 for the Cavaliers. Then I also made a note here that says Michael Kidd-Gilchrist will rebound and start the break without passing to the point guard. So some players will do that if they're capable of handling the basketball by themselves. Sometimes the bigger players, they'll get the rebound and just start the fast break themselves. Michael does that. So there will be times where Michael isn't handing the ball off to Jeremy, or he's not handing the ball off to Nick or Kemba, but he does that. And as long as he's doing it efficiently, so what? That's fine. No problem. Michael is so aggressive and so energetic. You don't want to slow that down. So if he can do that, let him do it. And he did it well tonight, and he had some very effective drives where, he was just like a runaway train, and nobody could stop him. So it was good to see him do that. Then Jeremy had an unconverted assist opportunity. He passed the ball to Cody Zeller, whose layup attempt was blocked. Then Jeremy drove to the basket on the left-hand side of the rim, and his layup attempt was also blocked by Kevin Love. It was a really nice block shot by Kevin Love. Jeremy didn't see Kevin, and he thought he had him beat, and Kevin kind of just waited and timed it, and he basically got Jeremy's shot the last minute. It was a very nice defense. Then he had his third assist. This was to Nick Batum on the right baseline for about a 15-foot jumper. Made the note here. It says JLin is playing a point guard tonight and distributing well. So he was definitely in pass the ball mode early rather than score the ball. And shooting guard, usually your job is to score. Point guard, more times your job is to pass the ball, although that's changing in the NBA. You see more score-first point guards like Russell Westbrook or Steph Curry. So it's not quite the same as what it used to be. Still, it's up to you to move the ball around, and that's what Jeremy was focusing on early in the game. Moving on to late in the first quarter, Cleveland was up 19-18. Jeremy then had his fourth assist of the game already. This was to Michael Kidd-Gilchrist for a driving layup going from right to left. Then Jeremy drove to the basket. It was aggressive drive. He was hit, fouled, had 2 free throw attempts, missed 1, made the second. Then he had his second unconverted assist opportunity to Jeremy Lamb for a three-pointer, which did not go down. But again, the ball's moving all over the place. He just passing it to edge. Just incredible ball movement here. You got to see it. It was just so great to witness it. And Jeremy had his second missed shot of the game. He had an isolation play. Basically, they ran a pick and roll. He and I think Cody Zeller, or whoever was playing center at that time, might have been Spencer Hawes. They ran a pick and roll play, and the center for Cleveland switched on to Jeremy to guard him. That was Timofey Mozgov. And so Jeremy had a mismatch. He felt he could get a good shot against Mozgov, and he did get a pretty good shot, but it was just a little bit short from the right baseline. He then had his second score of the game soon after that miss. This was against LeBron James on another defensive switch. And this was about like the top of the key on the right-handed side, and this came off the dribble. So he was using the mismatches. If you're a point guard or if you're a ball handler, you run a pick and roll, and you do get a bigger player on you, and you're a player with ball handling skills,
a lot of times you want to take that isolation opportunity because you're going to have the advantage. And that's what Jeremy was doing here. And I thought he made smart decisions. Of course, he'll look for the pass first. So whoever sets the pick for him, he's going to see if he can get the ball to them first. If he cannot get the ball to him, then he's going to look for the isolation possibility. And so that's what he did on these couple of plays. This one, again, was against LeBron, and he hit the jump shot over him off the dribble. Then he missed his third shot of the game. He was this was a 3-point attempt off the dribble from about 5 degrees right of the top of the arc. I thought that his shots that were missing so far looked short. So I was like, okay, you got to get your legs into it a little bit more. Okay. And then Jeremy was playing against Mo Williams. Mo was playing backup point guard tonight because of Dellavedova being out. If you follow Jeremy in the summer, you'll know that Jeremy went to Mo Williams' Skills Academy. I think it was 2 years ago now. Like, I don't think it was this past summer, but the summer before. Mo Williams has a Skills Academy, like a workout camp for pros and for maybe for prospects in Dallas, Texas. And Jeremy went there. So those guys know each other and they're friends, which means that they're going to know each other's games. Jeremy knows what Mo can do. Mo knows what Jeremy can do, and what they know what each other can't do. Okay. So at the end of one quarter, 23-23, tied game. JLin, 5 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists. And as I said on Twitter, he had 4 assists, and he could have easily had 7 assists. I mean, he just controlled things with his passing in that first quarter. It was nice to watch. Starting in the second quarter, Jeremy was on the bench. Brian Roberts filling in for him. And once again, Brian Roberts playing well. He played great on the road trip, and it's just a luxury to have a third point guard who can play. And Brian did a real nice job tonight, so definitely give him credit for that. Then I put that Kyrie Irving is posting up against Brian Roberts. So Jeremy started out guarding Kyrie. Jeremy is too big for Kyrie Irving to post up. But since Brian's a little smaller, Kyrie was taking advantage of that. Now, I thought Brian did a pretty good job playing defense against Kyrie, but that's one of the advantages Jeremy has, being 6'3" and 190 pounds and very strong. Most guards are not going to be able to post him up. There's a couple who will try. We've seen, I think Chris Paul's tried it before. Kyle Lowry is extremely strong. You're not going to have a whole bunch of success as a point guard posting up JLin. That's very few point guards. And Kyrie knows he's not even going to try to do that. Okay. Then I put Frank Kaminsky is working over Kevin Love. So Frank Kaminsky already had 10 points midway through the second quarter, and Kevin Love couldn't stop him. Frank is big. He's 6'11" legitimately, like in his bare feet. He's 6'11". He's not super athletic, but he has excellent skill level. And Kevin Love is about 6'8", and that's not big enough to guard Frank Kaminsky unless you're really strong or really athletic. And Kevin Love isn't either one of those things. And Frank was just going to work on him, and Charlotte kept giving him the ball, and it worked great. So very nice to see Frank having a chance to kind of show his abilities there. Okay. Then Jeremy came into the game with 4 minutes and 52 seconds left here in the second quarter. The score was 45-43 for Charlotte. He played great defense against Kyrie immediately. Kyrie drove to the right-hand side of the basket and totally bricked a shot off the glass. Like, it didn't even hit the rim. He went to do a layup off the glass, and it was just so hard because he was afraid Jeremy was going to block him. So that was terrific defense by Jeremy on that play. Then Jeremy had his 5th assist of the game. This was to Frank Kaminsky for a layup. Moving on to late into the second quarter here. Then Jeremy had his fourth unconverted assist opportunity. He passed the ball out to Nick Batum. Nick was just unable to convert on a three-point attempt. Soon after that, Jeremy was fouled in transition. Like he basically ran right down the middle of the lane, and J.R. Smith hacked him. In other words, Jeremy just was looking to get fouled. He knew exactly what he was doing, and one of the Cleveland players was going to foul him, and he got JR to foul him. 2 free throws, made the first, missed the second. Then I made a note that says, Charlotte matches up well with the Cavaliers, and they do. The reason for that is there's a couple reasons. One, they're deep. Charlotte is. 2, they like to run. Now, Cleveland runs. They're running under their new coach. Well, Charlotte likes to run. That's how they played best. That's how they played early in the season. And tonight they got back to that. So it's like, okay, you want to play a track meet with Charlotte. They like that. And that's what they did tonight. Also, Frank Kaminsky versus Kevin Love. That's advantage for Frank on the offensive end. And Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is big enough and energetic enough to slow down LeBron. You're not going to stop LeBron. He's too good for that. But he's one of the players who can slow him down. And so there's some. I'm not going to say. I mean, again, I'm not saying Charlotte's better than Cleveland or whatever, because I don't think that they are. But they do match up with them decently, and it's gonna be even better for them when they're fully healthy. Okay. Then Jeremy had his fourth miss of the game. This was another one of the pick and roll where he got Kevin Love guarding him. He pulled up for a jump shot, missed it. Soon after that, he beat Kyrie on a drive. Kyrie fouled him. Jeremy 2 free throws, missed the first, made the second. So we went into halftime with Cleveland on a roll. LeBron had really heated up late in the second quarter, and Cleveland had definitely taken control. Score now was 58-49 for Cleveland. JLin, 7 points, 3 rebounds, and 5 assists. And he was just getting started because he was going to explode in the third quarter. So we head on to the third. Excellent defense by Jeremy right to start the beginning of the third. He got switched onto LeBron. Basically, Cleveland ran a pick and roll with Kyrie Irving and LeBron James. So Jeremy ended up guarding LeBron. LeBron was on the perimeter waiting for a jump shot, like waiting for a pass to come out to him so he could shoot. Kyrie passed the ball out to him, and Jeremy ran right at LeBron and gave him a good contest and helped him to miss the shot. I also found out tonight, and I did not know this, they said during the broadcast on Hornets TV that Steven Silas, the assistant coach, who we know that Jeremy is very close with and worked with him in Golden State, Steven Silas he played 4 years of college basketball at an Ivy League school, which I didn't know that. And so I had to go look up what school he went to, and it turns out that Steven Silas went to Brown University. So Jeremy and Steven also have the Ivy League connection, which I didn't even know. So they've got the Golden State connection. They've got now they got the Ivy League connection too. So like I said, those two just get along great. And I'm sure Steven was very happy for Jeremy tonight. So that's great. Still early in the third, Jeremy 6th assist, this to Marvin Williams for 3. Now, Kyrie Irving was starting to heat up, so that was going to kind of take a little bit of Jeremy's attention. But Charlotte was making a push. That 9-point halftime lead was down to 3, and that came right after Michael Kidd-Gilchrist was the runaway freight train in transition. He got the ball off the rebound and just ran right down the middle of the court, slightly veered to his right, went around LeBron James for a layup, and it was timeout for I believe for Cleveland at that moment in time. And somebody asked me, Roberto asked me, Roberto, I know you left 2 comments. One of them was, hey, is Kemba better than Jeremy, and does Michael Kidd-Gilchrist really help the team?
Is Kemba better than Jeremy? Well, it depends on what you like and what you want. I will tell you this, though, to be completely honest. Kemba is having a great year statistically. He's having a better year than any of the years Jeremy's had, at least from like a PER perspective. So, look, you got to give Kemba credit. He's never played this well before. So he's having a great year. I mean, you got to respect that. And, you know, it's not a competition. I mean, Kemba's the guy in Charlotte. Jeremy knows that. So, I mean, that's just what it is. And, I mean, that's what they're invested in Kemba. And Jeremy understands that, and he's playing, he's doing his thing. Second thing, does Michael Kidd-Gilchrist really help the team? Yes, he sure does. The only thing Michael can't do is shoot the ball really well from the perimeter. That's because he's got that kind of unique form where, again, the elbow comes over towards his face, and he's like shooting sideways. He's very long. He's very athletic. He's an incredible defender. Like, looking at statistics, the effect that he has on defense is unbelievable. I've used this metaphor before, and I'll use it now again. He's like a black hole. Like, he bends space-time. He bends the game because of how good his defense is. So he really, really, really impacts the game in a positive way for the Hornets. And that's just the defense. I mean, tonight he was on fire on offense and rebounding. I mean, he was everywhere. His energy level is so high. It's incredible. So, yes, he is extremely important. And as I've told people before, because he's back, that might mean, and honestly it probably does mean, that Jeremy might play less down the stretch of games whenever everybody's healthy. Because my guess is that the finishing lineup will be Kemba, Nick, Michael, Marvin, or Frank Kaminsky, one of those two, depending on the matchup, and Al Jefferson or Cody Zeller. But as a JLin fan, that might not thrill me, but I understand it. And I think that it's better to have more options to use rather than less. I just want the team to win. And I'm not saying that I want Michael to play in front of Jeremy, but more options is better than fewer options. And I know Jeremy wants to win. So Michael is very important. That's why it's just so amazing that he was able to come back this year. I've never, ever heard of anybody coming back from a shoulder labrum surgery in 3.5 months. That's amazing. The earliest I've ever heard is 4 months, and that doesn't happen much, particularly in a sport like basketball where your shoulders are really important. I mean, you don't want to do that. It's risky. So, but he's playing great. He seems fine, so good for him. Obviously, he worked hard in rehabilitation, and they definitely can use him. There's no question about that. Okay, moving on to middle of the third. Jeremy had his second hockey assist of the game, which is he makes the pass to somebody and then they pass it to somebody else and that third person scores. Jeremy doesn't get an assist for that. In hockey, you do get an assist for that. That's why it's called a hockey assist. He passed the ball to Nick Batum. Nick Batum passed the ball to Marvin Williams. Marvin Williams hit a three-pointer. Then after that, Jeremy had his 7th assist of the game. This was the incredible pass to Cody Zeller. That was about a 40-foot pass, look away, through defenders to hit Cody Zeller in stride, in transition for a two-handed dunk. And if you were watching the Hornets broadcast, this was the defensive play of the game, and that was because a defensive play was made before that. Then Jeremy gets the ball, has his head up, dribbling. He goes right about half court, looks away from Cody Zeller. And the reason why people look away
It's just flashy, it's silly. No, you do that so that the defense doesn't know where you're going to pass it. That's why you do look-away passes. And to be able to throw that length of a pass with that much precision through two defenders is amazing. and it was perfect. It was just a great play. It was great to see that. Okay. Then right after that play, Jeremy cut. He was off the ball, didn't have the ball. He cut to the basket from the right side of the court on a right diagonal towards the rim. Nick Batum found him on a little bounce pass. Jeremy grabbed it, scored the ball, and was fouled by Kevin Love while he scored the layup. Just perfect. Like I said, this was, if you like fun basketball, you definitely need to watch this game. Find it on, again, League Pass or whatever you use, because it was just fun. This is basketball. It's best. Okay, so Jeremy scores, gets the layup, gets the free throw, converts the free throw. That makes it 70-69 Charlotte. So they were down by 9 at halftime, and now they're up by 1 midway through the third quarter. Right after that play, or the next possession after, then he had another pass in transition, this one to Michael Kidd-Gilchrist for another two-handed dunk. This was a textbook 3-on-1 fast break. 3-on-1 means you have 3 offensive players going against 1 defender. Jeremy's coming right down the middle of the court. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist is to his left, and I can't remember who was to his right. Jeremy looked to see where Michael Kidd-Gilchrist was. Then he looked back at the defender, and he looked back to the defender, so the defender didn't know what he was going to do. Then he jumped up in the air and kind of almost faked like he was going to go for a layup. The reason why you do that is you make the defender commit to you, so then you have more of a passing ability or passing opportunity. He does that, pass to Michael Kidd-Gilchrist in stride, two-handed dunk. And that makes it 72-69. Soon after that, Jeremy had his second turnover of the game. When I watched this in real time, and I'll have to watch it again, I thought the ball went off of Cleveland. He basically jumped up to pass. It was a good idea. I think he was going to go to Michael or Cody Zeller, but the ball was tipped away. I guess they said Cody's tipped it. I thought that Cleveland tipped it, but that's the way they ruled it. Excuse me. Moving on here, late into the third, Jeremy then had his fourth score of the game, and he was in a groove, and the team was in a groove. Remember, they're on the comeback trail here. Crowd's going crazy. It's just everything's turned around. It's just boom, everything's up for grabs. Jeremy wide open at the three-point line, about 30 degrees right of the top of the arc. Ball's kicked out to him from the low post area. Wide open, just looks at it, just stares it down. Boom, just totally drills it. And it's I couldn't remember if it was that or another play where he did a certain thing. I'll tell you, it was another play that made the score 75-69. Then had another unconverted assist, which I think was his fifth of the game. This was to Cody Zeller, who just he just had a bad angle, and he shot like a little floater, but it just didn't go in. Then he was fouled. He was now attacking Mo Williams. I told you before that Jeremy knows what Mo can and can't do. What Mo can't do is play defense. And so what I wrote on Twitter at the time is Jeremy needs to attack him every single time. Mo is a liability on defense. And that's everybody in the league knows that now. I mean, I don't know if he always used to be, but he certainly is now. And so Jeremy's like, I'm just going to go to the basket. And even if I don't shoot it, I'm going to collapse the defense, and then I'll pass it out. Well, this time he just went right at Mo. Mo had to foul him. 2 free throws for Jeremy, made both of them. Then he had his third turnover of the game. He again went right at Mo. This time Mo stripped him. Jeremy stopped and did the pivot move in the lane, and when he did the pivot move, Mo knocked the ball out of his hand. So it was a good play by Mo. At this point in time, I think right around this period of time, Del Curry, who is the other analyst along with Stephanie Reddy on the Hornets broadcast, said one thing that's surprised or impressed the Hornets staff about JLin is how tough he is. And look, we all know that. I mean, he plays through the ankle injuries. He's very tough, and he gets hit all the time. And so, he was just on a roll here, and Del was singing his praises. Del also said earlier that Jeremy was playing a great floor game tonight and not over-dribbling. Floor game just means running the offense. That's basically what he means, and he's right. He played a tremendous floor game tonight. He did, for sure. So, after that play, after the 2 free throws, 79-72 for Charlotte, timeout by Cleveland with 1:59 seconds left. So we went from a 9-point deficit to a 7-point advantage. 16-point swing. And Cleveland was just on the ropes now. They were getting crushed. Cody Zeller got cut on his chin right about that time. He had to go to the locker room, I would presume, to get stitches or something like that. Then Jeremy had another unconverted assist opportunity to Jeremy Lamb, who just shot and just missed a little short floater. Then Jeremy, playing excellent defense against Mo Williams, forced him to travel, so the ball went back to Charlotte. Now Jeremy hit his second three-pointer of the game. Catch and shoot three-pointer from about 50 degrees right of the top of the arc. He nailed the three-pointer, and as he's running back, had his hands up to the crowd, like both hands upturned, like, yeah, isn't this awesome? Or like, are you not entertained? I just pumped up, feeling it, super swag. And, I mean, the crowd was going crazy. Then finally, Jeremy missed his 5th shot of the night right before the end of the third quarter. Just he had to take a shot, and he wanted to see if he could get something over Mo Williams. So end of 30, 82-75 for Charlotte. Again, 16-point swing from the halftime, and Jeremy was leading everything. At the end of 3, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists. Jeremy had 13 efficiency units in the third quarter, which is monstrous. That is incredible. So he was the orchestrator of the comeback, and now he and the Hornets were feeling it. They knew they could win. They knew Cleveland was there to be beaten. And that's what they were going and wanted to try to do heading into the fourth and final quarter. When Hornets TV came back from break, they said that Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and JLin outscored Cleveland themselves in the third quarter. Cleveland had, 17 points. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist had 7. JLin had 11 in the third quarter, so those two had 18. They outscored Cleveland just themselves, those two. Then I made the note again, which is what I said earlier. JLin is mixing up speeds tonight. He's not over-dribbling. He's really under control. He got the most out of the least tonight. And what I mean by that is energy. He was able to get maximum results from minimum energy. And that's what you have to be able to do as a player, particularly somebody like Jeremy, who so much of his game is usually about speed and athleticism. You need to conserve your energy. And that's exactly what he did tonight. But he still played an incredible game. It just was perfect, the way that he balanced it. Okay? Spencer Hawes got a technical foul early in the fourth quarter. I think he was arguing with J.R. Smith or something. Then I put Kyrie Irving is crazy over dribbling right now. So Kyrie was doing the opposite of what Jeremy was doing. He was all over the place, dribbling everywhere, running down the shot clock, no offensive system, nothing. And that was the contrast tonight. Kyrie is a magnificent player, and he played well tonight.
But you could see the difference. Jeremy was playing within the system. Kyrie wasn't. And I nothing to take. I'm not taking anything away from Kyrie. I mean, Cleveland fans know what I'm talking about. And this was what was happening right now, honestly, to be fair to Cleveland, was they're in the middle of changing their offense. And it hasn't happened yet. And they're not used to it yet. And so basically the offense was breaking down. And so Kyrie was kind of doing isolation stuff because he wasn't sure what else to do, and nobody else was either. Okay, and Charlotte was taking advantage of that. Now, Jeremy was out of the game now. I should have said that before. Jeremy was out of the game right now. Brian Roberts back in. Cleveland started cutting down the lead. Got it 90-82. They got it down to, so that's 8 points there. Well, that was about what it was. Then the lead got pushed back up to 12. Then it was 11 again. Jeremy came back into the game, with 3 minutes and 42 seconds left. And I believe the score was then 98-87. This is where he had 2 turnovers in consecutive possessions. The first one was he jumped to pass, and I think he was trying to pass to Cody Zeller, and Cody wasn't ready for it. It was a good idea, but it just wasn't happening. It's like the team was playing with Brian Roberts then rather than Jeremy, and so they weren't used to Jeremy coming in and starting to do what he was doing earlier, and they had to readjust to it. And Jeremy was he was a little bit overeager. So that was a turnover. Cleveland comes down and hit a 3-pointer after that. Then he had another turnover. It was a similar type of play. Cleveland then had changed their defense. They were switching on all pick and rolls, meaning that, so if you're, say JLin and Cody Zeller run a pick and roll against Kyrie Irving and Tristan Thompson, a lot of times that means that Tristan Thompson's going to end up guarding JLin. And that's a switch. So what Cleveland was doing now was switching everything. It was all switches, which means there's less time to exploit gaps in the defense. And so I don't think Jeremy was ready for that, and that kind of threw him off. And so, again, another turnover resulted in a LeBron dunk. That made it 98-92. But after that, Jeremy kind of gathered himself and steadied the ship. He got fouled again, driving around the basket. 2 free throws, made both of them. Then he scored on a little jump shot in the lane, little kind of high arcing shot down in the lane. Got that. That put Charlotte up 102-95. Then finally, on just a fantastic play, Kevin Love got switched out against Jeremy, and Jeremy he knew he could take Kevin Love. Kevin Love's just not quick feet, and Jeremy's super quick first step. So Jeremy just drove by him to the right, found a little opening, boom, easy layup. And that's when he actually did he ran back with the little hands up like, "Are you not entertained?" from the Gladiator movie. So just super swag. Amazing. That made the score 106-97. After that timeout for Cleveland, they came back from timeout, and this is when the fan got kicked out of the game because he touched LeBron. The guy had like a beard, and he looked like the wrestler from WWE, Daniel Bryan. That's who it looked like, and he got kicked out. You can't touch the players. I mean, you got to have some boundaries. I mean, that could be dangerous if people were allowed to touch the players. You just can't do that. Then Jeremy played excellent defense. Cleveland was inbounding the ball, and they were trying to get it to Kyrie Irving, and Jeremy was guarding him, and it ended up in Cleveland throwing the ball out of bounds. That was great. And Jeremy had his 6th and final miss of the game, very close towards the end of the game when Cleveland was running out of time. And soon thereafter, that was the end of the game, 106-97. Charlotte, boom, bam, the upset is sprung. And JLin is your player of the game.
They interviewed Jeremy on the court right after the game. Michael Jordan was in attendance, as I noted earlier. He kind of gave Jeremy a little pat on the rear end right as Jeremy was about to be interviewed. Just like, yeah, good job. Michael loves to do that with all the team. You kind of give them like high fives and stuff as they're leaving the court. And so he did that with Jeremy. He was very gracious in the interview. He said that Kemba's irreplaceable, and we just all had to chip in to make up for it. He also said that he loved Michael Kidd-Gilchrist because of his energy and defense, and he praised Marvin Williams, and he just said the team did a great job, and he was really happy to get the win, and that was it. That was it for the night. I can't wait to see the post-game stuff. I can't wait to see everybody talking about what happened and what Coach Clifford has to say and all of that. But certainly, I think it's Jeremy's best performance of the year, particularly given the circumstances, given who you're playing. And just the timing of this win, and for it to you win this game with Al Jefferson out, with Kemba Walker out, and Jeremy to captain the ship it's amazing for him to be able to do this in this spot and do it the way that he did it, with the balanced passing, scoring, but honestly more towards the passing than the scoring. He was more taking what the defense gave him, and that's why he scored as much as he did, like favorable matchups. Kyrie's not a good defender. Mo Williams isn't a good defender. If you get switches on pick and rolls like against Kevin Love, you're going to take it. And I think they might have run a bit more pick and roll tonight, probably for Jeremy, once they knew that he was going to be the starter. They did run a lot of pick and roll. And, I mean, if you run pick and roll with Jeremy, he's going to do things. And that's what he did tonight. So, yeah, I think this is the best game of the year. And as I said earlier, I think it's one of the most complete games of his entire career. When you factor in the defense, and you factor in the offense, and you factor in the passing, and you factor in how he was playing off the ball, cutting, moving. I mean, he was really moving a lot without the ball, even more than he does sometimes when he's playing shooting guard. And he does a fair amount of moving off the ball when he's playing shooting guard, but he was in constant motion tonight, it seemed like, and he did it great. I mean, he held his own against one of the 4 best teams in the league, and more than held his own, actually. So the team's got to be feeling great. They showed GM Rich Cho in the audience, and he had a smile on his face, super big. I'm sure he's feeling great about having acquired JLin in the summer. And this gives hope and validity to everything. To all JLin fans, it's all been worth it. It's all progressing. It's all happening. And what we've said before with Jeremy, it's still there. He can still do this. But he's also getting to round out the rest of his game. As I said, look, if Jeremy, whatever he's going to do this summer, but if he does decide to explore opportunities, which I'm sure he will, even if he ends up going back to Charlotte, I mean, this is Exhibit A on your demo reel that you're going to show to other teams. I can do this for you as a starter. Remember, I can do this. But it's, look, and I've said this before too, I really could see and can see situations in which Jeremy stays in Charlotte because of how good the team can be, because of how much he likes the coaches and how much he likes his teammates, and he's improving, and it's not crazyville like Houston and LA. We'll see. It's I don't know, but I know that he showed tonight that what he's capable of doing, and everybody saw it, and everybody was tweeting about it. And it's just, it's a great night to be JLin, and it's a great night to be a JLin fan. So that's about it. As I said, if you have the opportunity to watch this game, you definitely need to watch it at least once. I'm going to watch it again. I can tell you that right now. It was just, I couldn't believe it when it was happening. It was just so amazing. It was so awesome. Just how it unfolded. So that is it for now. Thumbs up, thumbs down, your comments below. Want to thank Gary Chen of the JLin Garden fan group for the artwork you're looking at right now. Gary is an artist and blogger in Taiwan. And the JLin Garden is a fan group for Jeremy, which is headquartered in Taiwan. They're great, amazing people who have been incredibly supportive and generous to myself and my brother JDV over the years. They're just super fans. And I can imagine how great they're all feeling tonight. And I can imagine how great Gary Chen's feeling tonight. So if you want to learn more about Gary or learn more about JLin Garden, you can follow the information in the video description below the video player to do that. You'll also find information in the video description so you can check out highlights of this game. Finally, in the video description, you'll find information about how you can join the Conservative New Media Facebook group and how you can come and follow us on Twitter. I don't tweet as much as I used to. I just don't have as much time right now, but I do try to tweet during the games and when there's any relevant information for the team or for Jeremy. So, once again, I am PFE Paul F. Villarreal, the NBA expert. Thanks a lot for watching Conservative New Media. We strive to be the #1 JLin YouTube fan channel. Woo! What a night. What a freaking night. Man, I'm just so happy. I'm just so happy for Jeremy. This just reminds everybody and reminds him what he's capable of, what he can do, what he's worked so hard for years. And it makes all the slights and the disses and the down times, it makes it all worth it. This is what it's for. This is why you're doing it. And he just was like a master of the craft tonight. Just put it all together, and it was incredible. So we are definitely looking forward to what's going to happen in the next game. And I believe that Steve Clifford is optimistic that Kemba's going to be back then for that game. I don't know. Hopefully he will be. Again, look, I love Jeremy starting, but we want the team to be healthy too. We want them to have all their strength and win as many games as they can. And the more guys you have, the better you can do, and so forth. That game will take place on Friday, February 5th here in the United States, and it will take place at 7 p.m. Eastern Time against the Miami Heat in Charlotte, North Carolina. As I mentioned, this will be the second game of the 4-game homestand. That means the game will take place on Saturday, February 6th at 8 a.m. in Taipei, Taiwan, and throughout China. It's a great night, fans. Enjoy the win. I'm sure everybody's talking on Twitter right now, joining it, soaking it in, and making the highlights videos and everything. I can't wait to watch a game again. I can't wait to watch the post-game interviews. I want to hear what Clifford says. I want to hear what Jeremy says. I want to hear what his teammates say. It's not just Jeremy. I mean, of course, I'm happy for Jeremy. I want to see it, but this is just such a huge team win. This is huge. And not just because they beat Cleveland, but because now they're only one game under 500. Now they're right there. If they win against Miami, they're right back at 500. And if they're right back at 500, that means they're only inches away from the final playoff spot in the East. And that's what everybody's fighting for. And it's it's just thrilling. It's just great, and you just got to be happy and thrilled for the guys. So we will see you again in less than 24 hours, or excuse me, less than 48 hours, not 24 hours. It's not a back-to-back. But hope everybody's having a great night and a great day, or a great day, wherever you are around the world when you watch this video. Take care, enjoy this win, and we will talk to you on Twitter, in the comments, and in the next video very shortly as Miami versus Charlotte in Charlotte, North Carolina, 2 days from now.